Hi, this is Eddie Hearn and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. Delighted to be joined by the head and the main voice of Sky Sports Boxing, Adam Smith. Adam, good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon, Faisal, good to see you. I'm very well. I'm pleased to be back in Wales. Always a great fight crowd here. We've had some brilliant memories over the years on Sky, and it's been a long time since we've been back. But what a show! It's a monster happening on Saturday night. It's a fantastic top of the bill, which we're delighted to have on Sky Sports. Eubank Jr. and Williams has been talked about for a long time. The talking is over. I thought they were highly respectful, actually, for them up there in the sort of the vicinity of the British board headquarters, and I think that's great to see that the talking seems to be over. We have got the final face-off tomorrow with the crowd, but I think they're two extremely, impressive athletes. They've worked very hard for this moment. It's a pick-'em fight. It's got a lot of stories and narrative around it, and we can't wait for it. And as to have Claressa Shields over, that's just brilliant. And what she set up there, the dais was fantastic. She's an incredible role model for boxing, full stop. Can't wait to see if she can come through the sort of semi-final and Savannah Marshall can come through hers in a few weeks' time in Newcastle, and we get that big fight on in the summer, because as Eddie announced last week, the Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fight, it's magnificent. It's terrific that we can get boxing with the females at the same level. It's they're talking about equality and parity and all of that, and I've been a massive advocate for women's boxing. We all have at Sky for a long time, and long may it continue. Caroline Dubois turns professional on the card. It's wonderful to see, and to have Claressa and Eva Kozin on the same night as Eubank Williams, we're all lucky. We're in for a treat.
Adam, in terms of kickstarting the year, I don't think you can get any better than this. I mean, the main event speaks for itself. A great fight in the middleweight division, a great domestic fight in the middleweight division, and then of course the GOAT, Claressa Shields, making a pro UK debut against Emma Kozin. Hopefully a win for her sets up a big fight with Savannah Marshall. In terms of fights that you've presented and fights that you've put on in the past, when it comes to kickstarting the year, surely this one ranks up highly there.
It certainly does. I think this is possibly the best start to a new year I can remember. Certainly right up there with all the great fights and nights we've had on Sky. As a standalone month in February, to have two fights of the caliber of Eubank Williams, as you say, with Claressa Shields and everything else on the card, and then Josh Taylor and Jack Cattrall at the back end in Glasgow, for the undisputed super lightweight belts, undefeated fighters. And those two events on Sky Sports, and then sandwiched in the middle, obviously one of the fights we've all been waiting for and hoping for many years in Amir Khan and Kell Brook. It's a crossover fight, that, and an unpredictable one at best. So it's terrific. It's something we've worked very hard at. Ben Shalom and I and all the teams for the last 6 months. We came from a standing start. Eddie went to DAZN. We had a wonderful relationship with Eddie at Matchroom. It was a fantastic time, and he made the move with his stable to DAZN. We had to pick ourselves up and go again, and that's what we've done. We've got a great 4-year deal with Top Rank, who provided us with terrific quality, some really fantastic action already. So nice to see Michaela Meyer here, and she'll be working with us over the next couple of days. As I said, Claressa and Caroline on as well. I think where we've come, Ben and I, and as I said, everybody behind the scenes, John Wischusen's been paramount to it, and all the people that work at Sky and Boxer and are knitting together. It's been a great period of change, of learning, of taking our time, and this is a long journey. We're not going to say this is it. We're back. We're very pleased with our month ahead, and there will be peaks and troughs, as always in boxing. But Eddie's put on a lot of good shows out there for sort of February, March and April, especially that Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano one, which is brilliant. Great competition. Frank's had a fantastic week, obviously winning the purse bids for Fury and Whyte, and he'll have more shows coming on I think from March on BT. So it's great competition. It's fantastic for fighters and for all of us in the sport. The sport's in a great place, and you listen to Clarissa, and it's just wonderful that we've got these advocates and these ambassadors and these people breaking boundaries all the time. Katie Taylor did it at Sky for so many years, and Clarissa's doing it over there. Savannah Marshall's just fantastic now. I think it's brilliant, and for a youngster like Caroline to turn pro and see what opportunities are ahead of her. I've got 2 daughters, and they might not become boxers, but there's a real sort of there's role models, and there's a feeling that you can do anything, and I think that's great. But yeah, it's some brilliant top of the bills, and yeah, we're very lucky, and we're going to do everything we can to push this out to the casual audience in February. So we get a real sort of momentum going for the year ahead. It's exciting times.
The excitement is second to none with Sky Sports and Boxer. I mean, as you just mentioned, you've got Caroline Dubois making a pro debut tomorrow night. You announced last week Natasha Jonas is going to try and bid for a third time to become a world champion on the Khan versus Brooke undercard. The Savannah Marshall fight got announced yesterday. Women's boxing, you guys are really, really pushing it, aren't you?
I keep forgetting about Tasha. I know she'll be messaging me, whatever. I keep forgetting.
Do you want me to cut that out?
There's so many fights at the moment, but Tasha is one of ours now. She's come over. She's going to be a great addition to our punditry team. She's absolutely brilliant, Tasha, and she gets her opportunity again. And look, she was terrific against Terry Harper in the Garden at Matchroom. She gave Katie Taylor everything she could handle, in their rematch in the professional ranks up in Manchester, and she deserves her opportunity. And it does come at a much higher weight, and she's never had it easy, Tasha, but she's very, very popular within the UK boxing fraternity, and I think there'll be a lot of people extremely happy on February the 19th if Natasha Jonas can become a world champion. I believe in her. She's got another tough test, but I think maybe this is her night, Tasha. So yeah, I make no secret that I was massively behind, like Eddie was, and Barney Francis, to give Katie her opportunity and then see everything develop from there behind the ascent of female boxing. I never forget Jane Couch and all she did for, as the sort of first British pioneer over here. Clarissa mentions, the likes of Anne Wolfe and Layla Ali, but over here it was Jane. And I think maybe she was probably a bit too soon. She became before her time because the matches weren't great at that time, or as good as they are now. But I think she said it, and Katie obviously has been an absolute superstar, a legend of the sport, both amateur and pro. And then, everyone wants to follow them, don't they? The likes of Terry Harper and Chantel Cameron and Savannah, who we've worked with for so long, and Clarissa over there and Amanda Serrano. It's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and it gives, as I said to you, the kids, it gives the youth real opportunity that they can make it in boxing. They can get well paid. They can have a fantastic career, and that part, as you see with Ben and the stable, it's really, really important to us. We're not going to forget the men, the Azim brothers, and we've got the likes of Florian Mark, who we just signed, and Brad Ray, Joe Pigford, so many others that are going to come through. But it's pretty special having Georgia O'Connor, Ebony Jones, April Hunter in the stable, and having a sort of balance, a really healthy balance. And I think with Tasha and with Fraser Clark, we've got 2 really great people in British boxing to be the sort of role models for the youngsters to come in there. And Fraser and Tasha have got long-term deals at Sky, and I think that's going to be really important as we go forward. So yeah, it's exciting times in boxing, just full stop. And watching all the shows on DAZN and what Frank's going to do on BT and him winning the purse bid, the competition's great, it's lively, it's a fantastic market, and the fans are the winners.
100% right. The competition is massive, but fair play to what you guys are doing here at Sky Sports and Boxer. Let's talk the main reason why we're here, the main event. a fascinating way to kickstart the year. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. For me, one of the biggest talking points in this is the fact that Liam has made the move from the Ingles gym over to Adam Booth. Adam Booth, we know, worked very closely with Chris Eubank Jr. And I've asked the likes of Johnny Nelson, and I'm going to ask yourself, do you think that gives Liam an even bigger advantage, not just because of the fact that he's a home fighter, but also the fact that Adam Booth probably knows Chris better than anyone?
There's a couple of ways of looking at that. You know, changing a trainer just before a massive fight is often not the best thing to do, and I think they've been together 8-10 weeks, not a long time. And obviously Dominic Ingle knew Liam Williams inside and out. But then again, the change could just be the freshen up that Liam Williams needs. What we do know is that Adam is a terrific trainer. He's very canny. He'll have a brilliant game plan. Has he had long enough with Liam? Is Liam good enough to implement the game plan that Adam wants? Well, we'll wait and see. That's what Saturday night's all about. We also want to know if Chris Eubank Jr. is as good as Roy Jones and everybody else hopes and thinks he is. Because with Chris, I've always felt that he's had the talent, he's had the dedication, he's got that star quality about him. But he's yet to have that really defining fight and night. Yes, he beat James DeGale, but James was you know, certainly well past his best. He had the big fights with Billy Joe, which was close, and George Groves, which wasn't so. And I was a bit disappointed with Chris in the George Groves fight. Take nothing away from George, it was a wonderful win for him, but with Chris's performance. And I just feel he's gone through a lot of personal issues, the tragedy of Sebastian, who you know, that was a real shock for everybody, and especially the tight-knit Eubank family. And you know, that was hard, and hard for Harlem as well. I know they were close. But they're a very, very strong and tough genetic breed, the Eubanks. And I think that Chris needs a fight like this and the challenge of a Liam Williams. And although he said he doesn't matter where it is, I think secretly he quite likes the fact that it's in the Lion's Den, you know, with the pressure on those shoulders. He's always taken it pretty cool and pretty in his stride. We're going to know how far he can go, I think, with what happens on Saturday night. If he's, you know, if it's a dominant performance and maybe a career best performance on Saturday, then Chris Eubank can go on and, you know, challenge for world honours and become the world champion, probably that he always thought he would be and that his dad told us he'd be. But if he doesn't and Liam Williams comes through, then Liam gets that opportunity, and Chris, we have to wonder whether he's you know, he's as good as sort of we hoped he would be. I think that Roy wouldn't be wasting his time, or certainly 2 years of his life, with someone he didn't believe in. But he's not Roy Jones Jr., he's Chris Eubank Jr. So I think Chris has got a lot to prove with Roy in his corner, just as Liam has now with Adam in his corner for this fight. I think what it will come down to, as mostly it does when the truth speaks, is who is the better all-round fighter, and we're going to have to tune in to find out.
Just want to get your thoughts on the whole Dillon Whyte Tyson Fury saga. As you mentioned, Frank Warren won the purse bids. Congratulations to him. For me, quite surprised. I thought Eddie Hearn would probably outbid him, but he didn't.
I did too, but Frank came up, and I mean, he's unbelievable, isn't he, Frank? He's had a fantastic week, and good luck to him. He's been a brilliant promoter. I too thought Eddie might win that one for Matchroom, for DAZN, but look, it's an interesting one. It will be on BT Sports box office. Sort of ironic because we work closely now with Todd DeBerth at Top Rank, and although Tyson's not in that contract we have at Sky, we're partners with Todd, and he's delighted and excited to be coming over to Britain. Obviously he'll be here for the Josh Taylor fight too, so yeah, it's really exciting, and I think that it's great that Dillon's got his opportunity. I'm really pleased for him. We've worked really closely over the years, and I'm delighted that he's got his chance to fight Tyson Fury. I know there's a financial probably issue, and everyone thinks they should get paid more. As long as they get paid a huge amount of money each, that's great, because they deserve it. Dillon deserves his opportunity, and we all deserve the opportunity of having Tyson here in Britain, a homecoming. And yeah, I'll be very much looking forward to it, as will I, to see AJ's return, because he's working behind the scenes, he's training hard, he's obviously looking at where his next steps are, and is it going to be the Usyk rematch maybe in spring or early summer, and we wait and see, and hopefully we'll be a big part of that too at Sky.
Are you at all worried, given the fact that we've not heard anything from Dillon Whyte since those purse bids were announced?
I'm not worried. I'm getting on with what I do, which is...
No, not as in
I
for
know,
Dillon,
I
but
know.
as in the fight actually happening itself.
Listen, we concentrate on what we're doing at Sky first and foremost. We've got a very busy February. As I said, I'm delighted that the Fury Whyte fight is happening. I think it's the right thing to do. I think there's a lot of talk of step-asides, whatever. I know AJ wants to regain those belts, and he's very competitive, and maybe people don't think that's quite the right idea after the first fight, but Anthony will want to try and right that wrong, just as Dillon had the chance against Alexander Povetkin when he got knocked out. I like the fight that Fury Whyte's going to happen. I think it's great. I would be very surprised. People are saying, will Dillon not fight him and he's been too quiet? I would be gobsmacked if Dillon Whyte was not to take this opportunity, one that he's been calling for, waiting for, and if he wins this fight, and he'll get paid well and handsomely for it, but if he wins it, obviously he can write his own checks. So I think Dillon Whyte will be in the other corner that night, and I think it's going to be a terrific event for British fight fans, and it's on BT Sport box office, just like Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is a wonderful global event. That's on DAZN. Eddie's done a brilliant job making that happen, and we want to try and make the Clarissa Shields Savannah Marshall fight here. We've made some great fights in February. As I'll say again, the fans are the winners. Not just the fans, the fighters are the winners too. It's been a tough pandemic. Look at how excited the fighters on the cards are just to be part of this show, to get out again. The English titles, the Chris Jenkins sort of fights, Reece Edwards, they're chomping at the bit. You know, boxing's in a terrific place, and we're very, very pleased to be part of it.
Adam, well, listen, thank you very much for your time. We're really excited as well. It's going to be a great night of boxing, and then obviously a few weeks later, Khan versus Brook. Then you got Taylor Catterall down in Glasgow. Well done, and again, listen, from a fan's point of view, thank you very much for what you're giving us to us UK fans. A great February to look forward to. We hope you enjoy Saturday night, and once again, Adam, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for speaking to Lights Out.
No problem at all. I think we'll all enjoy it.
Top man, Adam Smith, thank you very much for talking to Lights Out.
Thanks very much. Good to speak to you.